TG Geeks, episode 200, December 17th, 2018. Who, what, when, where, why? Oh my. Hello and welcome to another webcast from tggeeks.com, where Ben and Keith, the two gay geeks, talk about all aspects of geekdom and nerdery. Sci-fi, comics, film, horror genre, you name it, we talk about it. I'm Keith Lane and we're coming to you from TG Squared Studios in lovely Phoenix, Arizona. And are we in Phoenix when this airs? I don't know.
No. I'm too old. 200. I can't remember past 199. Ben Raggington coming. Get off my front, kid, you stupid lawn. Phoenix, Arizona.
Yeah, I feel old after 200 episodes. And we're going to just get right on with the show.
Prepare for hyperdrive.
Meanwhile, in the Hall of Episodes... What?
Yeah, feels like it.
In the Hall of Episodes, yes. We've got kind of a little special program for you. This in our first segment, we're going to have a bunch of testimonials from people that sent them to us, and that, well, we asked for them, but we got a bunch of...
Okay, well, the truth is out now.
The truth is out, yeah. That we asked, we said, hey, if you do something for our 200th episode, that'd be great. And we got a bunch back, and we're going to play those for you. We're going to talk about the people and the episode and the testimonials and the everything else. Anyway, then we have the birthday shout-outs.
Right.
Featured podcast of the week, and everybody's favorite feedback. And then in our second segment, we're going to kind of look at history of where we've been and where we're going and everything in between. A weekly recap. And then, of course, our follow-up items as usual. Keep listening. Yeah, we got a bunch of testimonies. We're going to play them right now. From the first one was Mr. Michael Armenegay.
Our podfather,
the guy that's kind of instrumental in this podcast actually getting started. So here we go.
Hey guys, Michael Armenegay here. Farpoint Media, Slice of Sci-Fi, Dragon Page, you know the list. Hey, congratulations on 200 episodes. That's an amazing accomplishment. You guys have done so much great work over the last 4 years. Here's to continuing on to another 200. Take care, guys, and congratulations again.
Yeah, thanks, Mike.
That was really nice.
Yeah.
Mike, to say that he was instrumental in getting this whole thing started is a gargantuan understatement.
Yeah. He taught us so much about podcasting.
We learned a lot just from our brief time working on Slice of Sci-Fi.
Yeah.
So much. And his continued support means a great deal.
Absolutely. Thanks, Mike. And now, the first person that... our first listener.
She was the first person, I think, who actually ever gave us any feedback.
Yeah, and said something about our episodes, and it was early on. So I know that she's been listening, and she's from Ireland.
She's from Ireland, and
goes back to the Slice of Sci-Fi days.
She knew us from way back then.
So here we go with you'll hear.
Hi, TG Geeks. It's Claire from Dublin, Ireland. As you guys are reaching your big 200th episode, I had to send you a little voicemail to congratulate you both on all your hard work. I can't believe it's been 200 episodes. It seems like only yesterday when I first heard you both on Slice of Sci-Fi, which sadly is no more, but I think you guys continue the spirit of it on in your own geeky way. I've been told by Keith that I was your first subscriber, and I'm hoping him telling me that wasn't a hint that I'll be getting an international restraining order in the post. Anyway, I just wanted to send you guys a quick message to thank you all for your hard work and your research and time that you put into creating such a wonderful podcast. I don't know what I would do without getting odd looks in the office as I laugh along with you both. So happy 200 episode, and here's to 200 more. Congratulations. Bye.
Well, thank you, Claire. I loved it.
That's great.
That's totally awesome.
We actually finally got to hear her voice. I've corresponded with her on Messenger, on Facebook, many times.
The both of us have chatted with her extensively through text messaging. Since the beginning of this.
Yeah, since the beginning of this. Yeah,
and
that's 4 years ago.
It's great to hear from you, Claire. And we love the fact that we can make you laugh as you're listening along with the show because we're just a couple of dorks.
Thanks a lot. And then our second person who actually has been kind of following us since the first and prior to.
Oh, yeah, back in the Slice days as well.
So we're going to play that right now.
Hey, Ben and Keith, it is Arkle, formerly of the Geek of All Trades podcast, the Casting Game podcast, the Gilmore Girls Rewatch podcast, and the Singular Achievement Phenomenon podcast, none of which I do anymore. But now I'm on the YouTubes and all that with Shameless Cash Grab and Rants vs. Zombies. But, enough about me. Congratulations to you on 200 episodes, something that not a single one of my shows ever made it to. I think 52 is the record on that one.
Well, maybe all combined.
Bonus episodes.
Yeah, string them all together.
Or episode zeros. Do episode zeros count? I don't really. You know what? That's not what this is about. This is about congratulating you guys on the 200th episode of the 2 Gay Geeks podcast. And it's certainly been a journey. I definitely remember when you guys came on Slice of Sci-Fi way back when, and that was certainly fun. Those were good times.
Yeah.
Podosphere's not quite the same as it was anymore, even though podcasts are actually more popular than ever now, but almost none of the people who were podcasting back then are amongst the super popular now.
Sad.
Yeah, it's sad.
Except for someone like Mark Maron, who got in on the ground early there. That's a bit of a shame. But, okay, again, I'm going off track. 200 episodes.
Well, isn't that what you do?
And,
That's okay.
I am honored to be a regular listener. I've listened to every single episode. And I'm also honored that I got the chance to meet you guys in person.
Yeah,
amongst the handful of podcasters I've gotten to meet in person, actually. And it was kind of a fun experience at the Chinese restaurant. I felt so sorry for Keith because it seemed like Ben and I were doing all the talking there.
We were.
But,
I was shy.
Keith said he didn't mind, so I guess he's just kind of used to... I guess you guys are used to one of you geeking out while the other one just politely listens. Hashtag relationship goals.
Yeah, there you go.
Anyway, yeah, again, congratulations on 200 episodes.
Thanks,
Well,
Brian.
Thank you, Brian.
Yeah, that was
Keith,
great.
you hadn't come out fully out of your shell yet.
Yeah, I hadn't come out yet.
So, right. Yeah, coming out of I'm coming out of the closet to announce that I'm a geek.
Yeah. No, it was just, I was kind of shy and I was new to the geek thing.
Yeah, and if I remember right.
Geeking out and talking about it.
Yeah,
I guess
and Arkle and I, we were really just going off deep on Japanese sci-fi, which was so out of your wheelhouse at that time.
It still is.
Still is.
So anyway, thank you, Brian.
That was
for
awfully
that.
awesome.
That was
Thank
great.
you.
And
Thank
we
you very much.
really appreciate you listening. You have literally listened to every single episode that we've produced.
And your feedback is always greatly appreciated.
Yes, thank you. And now we have our very first interview guest that...
oh, my.
And here we go.
Hi there, this is Jenny Koch. I write the Alien Catherine Kitty Cat series for Dog Books, which is part of Penguin Random House and a whole lot of other things, too. And I just want to congratulate Ben and Keith, the 2 Gay Geeks, on their 200th episode. We met way back when we were all correspondents for Slice of Sci-Fi. I was so excited when Ben and Keith spun off their own thing, and was even more excited when they asked me to become one of their correspondents. And I now get to review movies, old movies, TV shows, binging, restaurants, all this kind of stuff. So it's been very fun for me, and I'm excited to be a part of the team and so thrilled with all the great things that have happened in those 200 episodes, and I am looking forward to the next 200.
Thank you, Jeannie.
Jeannie, it has been a blast having you a part of this.
Absolutely.
And when the idea even was just proposed about you becoming a correspondent, I was like, oh, absolutely.
Absolutely.
I have to have her. I mean, she's the mistress of pop culture.
Yes, high priestess.
High priestess of, or just call her the maven of pop culture.
Yes, or whatever it was.
Yeah, something like that. But Jeannie, you are just so freaking awesome. We miss having you here in Phoenix, but I know you're just you're shaping Atlanta into a place all your own. And thank you for that wonderful comment.
Yeah, and we've now the rest of these testimonials that we have are people that were instrumental in changing the show and broadening our horizons and helping us to go in places that we never even dreamed that we would go. So I'm going to play this one.
Hello, everyone. Miguel Rodriguez, founder and director of the Horrible Imaginings Film Festival in Southern California here to talk about my friends Ben and Keith over at Two Gay Geeks, or as you may know them, the TG Geeks, their podcast, their website, their reviews about all things pop culture. I first got to know Ben and Keith because our mutual friend Neil from Sword and Circuitry Productions put them in touch with me to interview me about our film festival. What I appreciated most is that they were willing to talk to me about some topics that that they didn't consider at the time to be really in their wheelhouse, particularly the horror film genre, that being my specialty and the specialty of my film festival. And we got to talking a lot about that genre and my feelings for it. And they were very open to those and open to maybe re-examining their own biases about it. Since then, they have been credentialed press at my film festival, watching virtually every title and reviewing or interviewing the creators behind those titles. Since then, they have ingratiated themselves within our family and are always welcome within our doors. Ben, Keith, I want to congratulate you on the upcoming 200th episode. Quite an accomplishment. And we always look forward to hearing more as you podcast on. Until next time, this is Miguel Rodriguez signing off.
Thank you, Miguel.
Totally
my
awesome.
Gosh. That is pretty cool.
That is
Thank you.
awesome. And yes, Miguel, you have completely broadened our horizons and opened us to all sorts of new possibilities that we just had no idea were there. And now, we just become. I love horror now.
Yeah, we never would have known, the joys of horror, shall we say?
Yeah.
And
the how varied it is. I mean,
gosh,
the landscape, the palette of horror is so ridiculously broad. I had no clue. So I consider myself really blessed and educated,
and indebted to you for
absolutely
broadening our horizons. That was really great, and thanks to Neil for introducing us to Miguel. Oh my gosh,
absolutely!
Wow,
I mean, can't thank Neil Halford enough about that.
Yeah. So the next one kind of came on the heels of Miguel, and this really changed our show. So here we go.
Hello, my name is Patricia Chica, and I'm a film director. I have known the Two Gay Geeks for over 3 years now, and I am so privileged and grateful for all the work they have done to support my films and to support the films of the filmmakers that I was promoting in the past few years. The Two Gay Geeks, they are really unique, and let me explain why. Not only they are open-hearted people and so generous and big fans of genre and of independent filmmakers, they also have this very unique touch about how they interview artists. It's always very conversational, it's friendly, you feel like you're talking to a friend when you go on their webcast. And that, to me, it's something that I really appreciate about them. You feel like you can open up and really speak out about everything and anything. They have done incredible interviews with me and with my friends over the years, to the point where they get stories that no one else have ever heard and that I have never told anybody else publicly.
The mouse story.
To me, it's a gift. It's a gift of just being in tune with artists. I'm very grateful that the Two Gay Geeks have been so supportive of my work, and also they have become friends over the years. They have been involved in some of my short films, one in particular called Morning After, and they show up to screenings, they come and support artists, they research the material they're about to talk about. And that to me is valuable because they make artists feel like they really matter.
Well, they do matter.
They are very important. And Two Gay Geeks, Keith and Ben, I'm wishing you 200 more episodes. I am not surprised you have been so successful and that the site has grown over the years. The work that you do is so valuable, and it becomes an archive of interviews, an archive of history, of filmmaking. The Two Gay Geeks, they have discovered talents before anyone else was talking about them. Sometimes they have done the interviews of the first interviews ever with an independent filmmaker. And those archives in the future will become so valuable of the stories they have been discovering and telling over the years.
I never looked at it that way.
You will be able to go back to the website and find older episodes of how a filmmaker started in their process. So there's a lot of wealth of information on the TG Geeks website, and I find that so valuable, all the contribution that you are bringing to the filmmaking world through the webcast and through the site. It's incredible. Always done with positive energy, with a lot of love, and I cannot say enough. I am so proud of you, and I want you to continue doing this for many, many years to come because we really love the Two Gay Geeks.
Wow.
I'm humbled.
Yeah. Thank you, Patricia.
That is so awesome.
She was so instrumental in making our podcast or kind of tweaking our podcast and the way we do things and what we do.
Yeah, but a lot of that is just pure serendipity, and we talk about this a lot. How when you ran the press release for I Am Alone, that was going to be playing at Phoenix Fan Fest, and Patricia happened to see that right at the moment you ran it.
Yeah.
And that changed everything. Because it gave us the opportunity to be able to talk to Rob and Mike face to face. That totally altered the way we do our interviews now.
Yeah, and it also developed into a wonderful relationship where we were, always corresponding with Patricia. She was sending people to us to interview, and we saw all kinds of wonderful films and gave people opportunities to do their very first interviews.
Oh, she got us in the door for the Epic Studios 10th anniversary party. Whoa!
And some really wonderful things. Thank you, Patricia, for being on board with us and being our friend now.
And we hope to continue working with you, Patricia.
Absolutely,
very closely.
Yeah. And next we have somebody that is a film director that we did the very first review of, and he saw it online, and we developed that relationship too. So here we go.
Hello, this is Jeff Patton, producer-director of Origin Beyond the Impact. I had the privilege of meeting Keith and Ben after I had read a review that they had written on IMDb about my first project, and it was quite fascinating because when I read the review, it was the first time I had actually seen somebody take the time to thoroughly critique the project in a way where they were able to pick out my motivations within the colors, the compositions of the shots, the way that the characters interacted with one another. They could really see the finite things that I had implanted in the project to try to captivate my audience, if there was any captivation at all. And I had enjoyed that review so much that had it been bad or good, either way, I was just really appreciative of the fact that they took the time to express their thoughts and feelings on the first story that I had ever created. Since then, I've had the honor and privilege of visiting with both Keith and Ben on their show, as well as being a part of the TG Geeks universe. Their support has been overwhelming, and that is what I cherish the most. Gents, congratulations on 200 episodes, and I look forward to hearing many, many more. Thank you for all you've done.
Well, thank you, Jeff.
Yeah, that was great. We saw that this was another one of those.
That spun off from Neil, essentially.
A spun off from Neil, and
it led us to Mark Biaggi.
Mark Biaggi, and
that's what led us to Origin and Jeff. I mean, it's all these things are kind of like dominoes falling into place.
Yeah, we've been there in San Diego for
number of times.
A launch party for a Kickstarter that they were doing, and
there was that episode 67, I think.
Yeah, lots of other things that have just taken place in San Diego. We've been privileged to hear and see some footage that nobody else has seen.
Right.
Hear some music that was recorded that nobody else has heard, and just other things.
You kind of get these behind the scenes little glimpses of the creation.
We still can't talk about some of those things.
No, we can't.
But,
we can't. But the fact that Jeff includes us in on that is a really great thing.
Thank you so much. That was great.
Yeah.
And then we have the next person that we have is a filmmaker that we were by far not his first go-round on anything.
No.
But we were there at the launch of this new film that he had that is still... I mean,
it's still making the circuit.
That was
and it's still winning awards.
2 years ago at Phoenix Comic-Con. That it was launched and had its world premiere, and
he's done like a couple of things since then, and yet this movie is still going. So
Absolutely.
Wow!
So here we go.
Happy 200th to Ben and Keith of TG Geeks. Thank you for having interviewed me for my feature film Occupants, as well as various cast and crew members, and we had a comic book tie-in to the film. And thank you for also interviewing the comic book artist. And just want to say, thank you, and congratulations on your 200th interview coming up. If I remember correctly, we were introduced at the because of the Verde Valley Comic Expo, where my associate producer and the one who suggested the idea of the comic book tie-in, Eric Kask, as well as our comic book artist, Dave Beatty, they were in attendance. And I think that was on April 9th, 2016. And then you interviewed me a week later concerning our upcoming world premiere of Occupant, which happened at the Phoenix Comic-Con Film Festival. And that was in June 2016, I think June 1st to 4th, 2016. We ended up winning the second place Best of the Festival prize, and it turned out that it was a prelude to a very successful run for us, where we won at other festivals like Shriekfest and the Las Cruces International Film Festival earlier this year. So while we were there, you took the time to come and meet us. That is my actress Brianna White, myself, the writer Julia Camera, the aforementioned associate producer Eric Kask, and you set up multiple interviews with us, and you gave us a very favorable review of the film. And this is when we had no idea if people were going to like the film or not. So we were very, very happy that you gave us a good review, and very thankful too. And then I think you interviewed our lead actor, Michael Pugliasi, as well as our composer, Vasilis Melesis.
Oh, that was a great talk.
I think it was in July 2016. And then I think in November, you interviewed the comic book artist, Dave Beatty, and that's November 2016. Now you also helped on my latest feature film called Whisper. And that film is still in post-production right now. We shot that last year. And when we unveiled the official trailer in January of this year, you gave us a mention. And I just want to say thank you so much for everything. I hope I can be as supportive to you both, as you have been to me, and my career, my films. Just want to say thank you. And here's to many more. Thank you.
We should point out that's Russ Emanuel. He never introduced himself.
And we should have introduced him. I didn't realize.
I forgot that he didn't say his name.
Yeah, but Russ has been on the show a number of times. We actually have an interview coming up with him in January as well. So
and we interviewed him a number of times when he premiered Occupants at Phoenix Comic-Con. He's been very, very awesome, and just a really nice guy. Very enthusiastic. Quite the visionary,
and quite prolific in his.
Oh my gosh,
his work too.
He's always cranking. I mean, like I said, he's got like 2 things that he did since Occupants, and yet he's still going around, taking Occupants to festivals.
Yeah. So the next one is actually a contributor of ours that we met and had spoken to and corresponded with for a couple of years now. So I'm going to play this right now.
Hello everyone, this is Hamish from Japan via Australia for the 200th episode. As you may know, I'm the columnist for News Sushi, which comes out every Friday, which really started about 6 or so months ago due to the 2 guys laying down the gauntlet looking for contributors for the website. And I thought, well, I can help out. They've certainly helped me out. Ben and Keith have published my work for quite some time now.
And we're grateful.
Ever since, so Pieces of 8, which is Paul directed, and The Last Time, which I directed, and then Silence, which last time was a music video which was turned into a short film. And when it started the festival circuit, they invited me to speak on the podcast, which was a lot of fun, even though I had worked all day and I was speaking from about midnight to 1 a.m. My time, so I was exhausted. But Ben and Keith made me feel like I was an old mate, and they really... we just had exchanged a few emails prior to that, and I felt like they treated me like family, which is, what I really feel about the website. I really love this website and the community that is around it, and I hope you do too. So, to Ben and Keith, congratulations on 200 episodes. I hope there'll be 200 more, and I hope that everyone who's listening, go and tell your friends and join the community. Bye for now.
Wow.
Thank you, Hamish.
He
That was
said
wonderful.
something
Yeah.
that just really got me, and said how he thought of, he felt like an old mate.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, is that our secret?
I don't know. And we made him feel like family. And
Yeah.
that's
I'm wondering,
true, though.
I mean, we did, but we do that with everybody.
Yeah, everybody that's part of this and that we interview and that we, they're part of our kind of extended family.
Yeah.
And a lot of the ones that we talk to regularly and that we interact with regularly for certain, and people, friends that we have made through.
Oh, God, yeah.
Oh, my gosh. We say that we have more friends in Southern California than we do in Phoenix. But
I know, and that's changed. I mean, now they're splitting. I mean, getting friends
just all
down
over
in
the
Southern
place.
Cal, friends in Nevada, the Vegas area, friends up in Seattle. It's, all these people that we've met through the show who are just located all over the place. I mean, and yet they mean a lot to us personally.
Absolutely.
And I'm wondering if that really is the secret. Maybe that's, I'm not trying to say that we're, God's gift to anything, but is maybe just the way we approach them and make them feel so welcome. Maybe that's what Patricia was saying earlier about how we can get things out of them.
Yeah, and it's just kind of our style that we have developed over the years, and that's kind of the part of the growing process, I think.
And I'm reminded of the chat we had with Karishma.
Oh gosh.
And just talking to her alone, how that just completely opened things up, and you saw how she changed during that conversation.
Yeah.
And how that opened up the door for talking to Vanessa and Katrina.
Yeah,
I was like,
it was great.
Yeah, so I'm wondering, maybe Hamish just told us
what our secret is,
what our secret formula is, and we just didn't even know
it's
it.
ruined.
Yeah, now everybody knows.
Yep. And episode 201 will be our last one.
Yeah. I hope not. No, because we still have interviews in the can.
Yeah. Anyway, we have another contributor who just recently came aboard, and I think you'll recognize him. Hang on. Here we go.
Ben and Keith, the 2 gay geeks. I really love them. They're smart, kind, and thoughtful, that you'd think they had a brain that wouldn't die. I've seen them in person at Jack Kirby celebrations and comic book conventions, At these events, they're so delightful that you'd go in on any plan with them. You'd join them on their first plan, their second plan, their dinner plans. You'd go all the way to plan 9 with these guys.
Oh, dear.
They're great. Visit their site and leave comments on the articles. Just make sure you're a human and not a robot monster. They are awesome. It doesn't take a giant Gila monster to know it.
And that was
Tommy Cannon.
Tommy Cannon of Dr. Zombie, the monster family physician.
I love this guy so much.
He is
awesome.
He was really great. And I just approached him about doing something, maybe an editorial cartoon.
Well, yeah, because we talked to him about Fred the Mustard Packet.
Yeah, and he had that ongoing webtoon that he's doing. I just said, hey, if you want
to send us something once a week,
in a while,
Oh, he jumped at it.
Yeah, he said, I do have an idea about Dr. Zombie.
And Dr. Zombie is it's so much fun. I get
so
the biggest kick out. It's very quirky. I
love it.
I do too. I get a big kick out of it, and I'm so glad that he could be a part of this ride that we're on.
Yeah, so he's as warped as we are.
Oh, totally. As we said in a last episode, he's so grateful that we love the fact that he can weird up our site.
Yeah, and now we've got somebody that we kind of ran across. I can't remember exactly how we came across Russ.
Oh, I remember. It was Verdi.
Oh, yes, that's right. Verdi Valley.
The very first Verdi Valley Comic Book Expo. And he invited us to his stand-up talk show a la Johnny Carson kind of thing.
That's right.
It was either that night or that very night.
It was that very night, yeah. So, and Russ has become a friend of ours, and we've become a big supporter of his.
We've had him in the studio for an interview.
So let's play this.
My name is Russ Kazmierzak Jr., and I'm, I guess, what you would call a polycreative. I self-publish my own mini comic book series. I write and perform poetry around town. I tell stories at different venues and events throughout the valley. And for a while, I wondered if I should pursue just one of those passions to help me find a well-defined audience. I wondered if I should narrow my niche. But then I met Ben and Keith, and these guys support all kinds of art, from independent film to self-published comics to comedy and so much more. Their comprehensive passion encouraged me to pursue everything I love. What these guys are doing with this podcast is creating a continuity throughout the creative community that is absolutely inspiring and refreshing. Guys, your love for each other and this community keeps me going in so many ways. The fact that you have come to my local late night talk show, my 24-hour comic challenges, that you've purchased my mini comics, that you make me feel special during those times when I know that you're paying attention to what so many other people are doing. I want to say thank you so much for that. Congratulations on this 200th episode. We're looking forward to 2,000 more. Don't stop this, you guys. You are the through line for so many of us, and we appreciate you. Congratulations.
Thank you, Russ. That is...
Wow. That's food for thought.
Yeah, I hadn't,
That's serious food for thought, because so many times, over the last few years, we've talked about where we would like the show to go, etc. Who we'd like to get in contact with. Wouldn't it be great if we could talk to the big people, etc. But then I hear this.
Yeah.
And then it makes me say, maybe I don't want to look a gift horse in the mouth at the same time.
Exactly. It'd be nice to talk to, the big stars.
Oh God, I dream of talking to Chris Evans, but that'll ever happen.
But some of these interviews and the people that we've gotten to know through the interviews, and people that they come into our lives and do this interview with us, and then become friends of ours.
Well, hey, the one that really sticks out to me is Gareth David Lloyd.
Yeah.
Because this is a guy that we met through Patricia for I Am Alone. And that first interview we had with him was all of 6 to 8 minutes.
Yeah. And
then he reaches out to us when he's got his new web series.
Yeah.
And wanted us to talk to him. And that meant something to me.
Yeah.
That really spoke to what we're doing. And then to hear Russ speak in this way, And yeah, we do support because as you've talked about, towards the end of every single episode, the importance of supporting independent creators.
Absolutely. And we believe in that.
It's not just lip service. We really do this. I mean, Patricia talked about us going to movie festivals and showing up at all the showings. When Maurice Himes was here at Phoenix Film Festival with Chimera, we were at every screening possible.
Absolutely.
Because we believed in it. Again, not lip service, not something we're just saying. We firmly believe in it, and we believed it. We believe in Russ and what he's doing, trying to reshape the local comic book landscape.
Yeah. And just the local, his efforts in...
And he's very creative.
Oh, my gosh. So many different things.
And I don't think any person should be stifled. I mean, I love the idea of a Renaissance man.
Yeah, if something doesn't work, he moves on to the next thing, and more creativeness just flows right out of him. It's really great.
And I love the fact that he's polycreative, and I want him to stay polycreative.
Yeah. And now our last testimonial we have, this somebody that has become a good friend of ours, and... You'll understand.
When you hear him, you'll get it.
You'll get it, and then we'll talk some more.
Hello, Ben and Keith, the two gay geeks. This is Chuck Tomasi from Technorama Podcast. Congratulations on making it to 200 episodes. It has been a real treat over the last, it only feels like 2 years, but in some ways it feels like about 20 years. Thank you for allowing me to be on your show. It has been a treat for you to have been on our show numerous times. Always fun to see who can hijack what on each other's show.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much for playing the Technorama promo over all these years. I can't tell you how much that means to Craig and me for your support, and it has just been a real treat to call you friends and to watch this collaboration grow and to be part of that. It's been a whole lot of fun, and I look forward to another 200. So congratulations again, and all the best in the future.
Nice.
Thank you, Chuck. That was really great.
Yeah.
We have just a little short history for anybody that doesn't know. Mike Menegay sold his house to Chuck, and the studio.
And Chuck was living up.
Yeah.
He was doing Technorama and living in Wisconsin.
Yeah, and so he wanted to move down here where it was nicer,
where they didn't have ugly winters.
Yeah, and so he bought Mike's house, and the studio came with it, and
so did everybody else.
Everybody else.
In fact, Chuck's got this cute little skit about all the people who were part of Slice of Sci-Fi who keep coming out of closet doors and whatever, and we're in it.
Yeah, so we go up there every once in a while and participate in Technorama Podcast. And
don't get to do it as much as I would like. But
hijack it.
Yeah, because we're just so busy. But in all fairness, we've had Chuck on our show when we've had our studio like at the Hilton or the Phoenix Hyatt across from Phoenix Comic Con, and he would come in and sit in and just hijack the snot out of our own show. So
and we deserved it.
Hey, all's fair in love and podcasts.
Absolutely, and that's all the testimonials that we have. So
man, some great,
just amazing.
That really was. I am
great.
deeply, deeply touched by all of that.
Too.
I seriously am. I'm not just saying that.
Thank you to everybody that submitted a testimonial, and thank you to those that we reached out to that were just not able to.
Yeah, so many people didn't have
so many
time.
Commitments and time. We appreciate everything. And we appreciate everybody that we have ever talked to or corresponded with. It means a lot to us. And I'm serious with that. Greetings, programs
and applications.
I'm Ben. And I am Keith, and we are the Two Gay Geeks. We are the nerds behind TG Geeks Webcast,
where we talk about sci-fi,
comics,
film,
horror,
genre.
You name it, we talk about it.
We release an episode every Monday morning at 6 a.m. Eastern.
You can find us on iTunes, Blueberry, Spreaker, Stitcher, and iHeartRadio.
Also, look us up on YouTube. And, of course,
we can be found at tggeeks.com, where you can find not only our webcast,
but articles about other geeky goodness.
So come along for the wildest ride in the potosphere.
Did you just say potosphere? He did.
Yes, I did.
Hey, who are those two hacks who stole our trademark?
Yeah.
How dare they?
That was a lot of fun to do that little promo.
It was kind of fun.
The geeky goodness.
Yeah, it was fun.
And here's a few selected birthdays for December 17th through December 23rd. 23rd. 2018. December 17th, Bill Pullman, who left us just a little too soon.
Did he? Did Bill Pullman die?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm thinking of somebody else. My bad.
It's like,
he did. He did. I'm
He
thinking.
did,
Yeah,
did he?
he did. I'm thinking of. I can't think of his name, but it's also Bill, and he was in. Oh shoot! Now those movies are out of my head.
Oh well.
Goofy actor. He was in Spaceballs.
Oh,
that guy.
Anyway.
Yeah. My bad.
That's all right. Also on December 17th, Paracelsus, who makes an appearance in Warehouse
your
13.
Yes, he does, in fact.
Yes. And Eugene Levy and Duff Goldman, the crazy cake guy. There was
Oh,
a cake-
yeah.
What is it? Cake Wars or cake,
Something like that. We saw it on a
oh
cooking
my
channel.
God. Wow, those cakes that he made.
They're
Holy
insane.
crap.
I know, and probably just way expensive.
Yeah. December 18th, Steven Spielberg. Charles Wesley, who was the brother of John Wesley, the founder of Methodism or the Methodist, and also between that whole family was Methodist and songwriters for lots of hymns that people know.
Exactly.
So just a talented family. Ossie Davis, Leonard Maltin. Thank you, Leonard, for all of your work on film and critique.
And his passion for Disney.
Absolutely. And happy birthday to Kelly Pitts, my cousin. December 19th, Edith Piaf. Alyssa Milano, who's her name makes an appearance in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, yes, it does. The Milano, the ship.
Jake Gyllenhaal, Chris Angel. December 20th, Uri Geller.
Is he still around?
I think he is.
Wow.
My mind is bending with a spoon. Or I'm bending my mind with a
There is no spoon.
Oh, that's right. Alan Parsons, who we have seen in concert several times. And to be honest, we wouldn't have Dark Side of the Moon in its form.
That's true, because he was the engineer for it.
And a couple of the Beatles albums as well.
Did he? Well,
he was an associate engineer or something.
He was associate engineer, and if you ever see the rooftop concert that the Beatles did on top of the Apple building, he's actually doing some of the live mixing there.
Yeah. Also on December 20th, Samuel Mudd.
Hey, he's Harry Mudd's brother.
You just ruined it.
It's a fact.
He was actually a farmer, and it coincidentally named Mudd.
Oh,
but he was Harry Mudd's great-great-grandfather.
Okay,
great-great-great-great-grandfather. It's a fact.
It's a fact.
And if anybody wonders what this "it's a fact" about, go to our review of the Mad About You Thanksgiving episode. Right. Go look it up. Go watch it. Oh my God!
You need to see the episode.
Oh, it's incredible. It's a fact. December 21st, Jane Fonda, Samuel L. Jackson.
I'm surprised you didn't put in parentheses.
Yeah, I was going to say, I can't say what I want to say about Samuel L. Jackson. But also Frank Zappa and Mr. Eric Coleman, who we heard in last week's
He's one half
episode.
of Cheshire Moon.
One half of Cheshire Moon, yes. December 22nd, Morris Gibbs, Giacomo Puccini, and how about this?
How about
Russ
that?
Kazmierczak. Happy birthday, Russ. Thank you for the wonderful shout.
That was fantastic.
And Mary Bunch, David Bunch's mother.
Yes.
December 23rd, Finn Wolfhard, who is the kid from Stranger Things. And Corey Haim, Chet Baker, and Christopher Cano, who is the director of the Marion Roos Pullen studio artists at Arizona Opera.
A really nice guy.
Yeah.
And his own wife is an opera singer.
Absolutely. Happy birthday, Christopher. And that's it for the birthdays this time.
Technorama, the podcast for geeks.
Didn't we just hear from this guy?
Geeks
I think
are
so.
better than cool. You don't hear someone say, Get away from me, you cool person. Who's gonna have their 65-inch home theater system installed by the Cool Squad?
Not me.
That's for sure. How much cool cred do you have?
Not enough to care about.
Think you'll find any canned unicorn meat at thinkcool.com?
Ew.
It's just a part domain name. They don't even have roadkill in a paper cup. That's why you need to start listening to Technorama, because that's what geeks do. Go to chuckchat.com and listen to Technorama before you turn cool.
Did we just hijack his bumper?
Of course. I will never forget when Chuck said he was
driving down
to
the 51 or something. Yeah,
to the airport one day and listened to an episode where we hijacked the bumper and he almost wrecked the car.
That was awesome.
Go give a listen to our friends Chuck and Craig over at Technorama Podcast. And now, oh my gosh, we got some feedback.
We have a lot of feedback. Interesting how the sound got louder.
I wonder how that happened.
Yeah, I can't imagine. Okay, so starting off, Jeannie Koch, who we heard a little bit earlier, she has her old classics newly reviewed. And this one is for a movie from 1940 called His Girl Friday.
And I have to say, thank you, Jeannie, for watching all those classic movies and creating this new thing for us.
It's been fantastic.
Newly reviewed.
Yeah, it's being really greatly embraced by so many readers. Classic example right here. We got a comment from Meg Leader. She says, Jeannie, I'm pretty sure you're my clone, soul sister, something. I too had a very hard time even smiling at this particular effort. Had a hard time sitting through it. I'm pretty sure that at some point yawning overcame intelligibility of the fast-talking actors. I guess snappy dialogue equals dialogue spoken too loudly and too fast to understand.
Well, there you go.
There it is. And then, this was good. Jeannie had another old classics.
Oh, gosh.
We classified this one as mystery movie, but I'll just go ahead and say it was for the Disney film The Black Hole.
And it is a black hole.
It is a black hole. And we were doing, first there was some teasing going on. And somebody named Juliet Artist, he wrote, well, either that's not an old film or I'm a very old man. It's an old film, and I am an old man. Because I can't believe it. I mean, that movie, I saw it when I was
1982?
79.
Oh, Jesus, 79.
1979,
Oh,
I
yikes.
was a senior in high school when it came out.
Oh, that's right, because it was Disney's attempt at
Disney's
grabbing
first
some of the
serious
Star
shot.
Wars spotlight.
Yeah, exactly. And interesting, you should say that because there'll be a comment on that later. Anyway, then Andrew McLeod says, wow, so it is worse than Alice Through the Looking Glass. Financially, it was horrible, but I loved it.
Oh, dear.
And then Edward...
yeah. You're talking about Alice Through the Looking Glass,
Yeah.
not Black Hole.
Oh, not Black Hole. Oh, God, no.
Is there anybody that loves Black Hole?
Nobody.
Please comment if there are.
If you really like this movie, I want to know who you are, because then I need to get you help. Then the comment from Edward Pulley. He says, really a stretch to use the word classic on this one.
Classic can mean a lot of things.
It has a very broad definition.
Yes.
In this
in
particular
our
in this
universe.
case, yes.
In the TG Geeks universe.
Yes. Classic means a lot of things.
Russ said.
It means a lot of things, from the really awesome to like the really, oh my God, why is it even there? And then I got a comment from Michael Fett. This one was really interesting. Wowzers, Jeannie Koch was hard on this film. It's one of the most historic films Disney owns. The first Disney-produced film that got a PG rating, and the move towards trying to break the mold were not just for kids. It would eventually lead to Touchstone Pictures. I think the issue is no one outside of Lucas had business in making this type of film. Star Trek the Motion Picture is stolen from Space 1999 and is an opera of cool long sequences that make you ask, are we there yet? Okay, little break. Michael, them is fighting words. Star Trek the Motion Picture, I admit I'm in the minority, but one of my favorite movies. And then he goes on. Eon Productions took that a step further by canceling For Your Eyes Only to make Moonraker an even worse film than Motion Picture and Black Hole. I have to agree with that. For Your Eyes Only was supposed to be the direct sequel to The Spy Who Loved Me, and instead, because Star Wars came out, they decided to jump out and do Moonraker.
Moonraker!
I don't think that's how the song goes.
Oh, no, I don't think so.
So I guess the question is, what is the best science fiction film of all of the worst of imitators? It did lead us to getting Tron, yay, and Flight of the Navigator. Not a bad movie. I don't like this film at all, but I have mad respect for what the film led to in Disney's development in moving forward.
I'll give you that.
I will give you that much, but it is
sometimes,
still a piece of garbage.
Sometimes crap films have to be made in
order for the better stuff to come out.
Unfortunately, when it's a big studio and they've laid the blame on the director, some films that should have been made don't ever get made.
That's true.
But this one was it was certainly forward thinking and forward moving for Disney. It
was, but backward production. And then got a comment, and this is on our website, from Sincere51Tur12. Oof, that's the name she used on our website. And she says, I loved your review and recap of this old and forgettable movie. I hated it when it was released. Worst ever for Disney. Thanks for reminding me. Laugh out loud. And then Meg Leader comes back and says, ooh, we're definitely soul sisters. I saw it in its first run and hated it. I've deliberately ignored all of the TV showings of it since then, except just recently when TCM, Turner Classic Movies, ran it again. And I do think they were on drugs when they made it. And then lastly, Jeannie had to put in her final dig. She says, like I said, I saw this first run, and somehow all I remembered of it was that Maximilian Schell was the bad guy, and one of the Bottoms brothers, Timothy Bottoms, I think, was in it. That's all. How neither the Hubs nor I could remember just how awful this movie is. For me, the real mystery here. On Facebook, folks were suggesting other bad Disney movies, and for each of them, I could go, yes, but...
Exactly.
And come up with something positive to say. Not this abomination. The only good thing about it is that it ends. Turner Classic Movies has a lot of splaining to do. Yeah. I will say this. Some of the visuals in The Black Hole are gorgeous. That is it. The rest of this movie is just a pile of bantu poodoo. And then we had a review for The Nutcracker and the Four Realms, an enchanting reinterpretation that came from Andrea Richoff. And your favorite sister, Lynn, had a comment.
Yeah, my favorite sister.
She says, we are excited.
My only sister.
Yeah, well, you're not supposed to say that part. We are excited to see it sometime soon. And then, I believe to close this section out, we did a review for the movie Suspiria, where art and horror meet in dance. And got a comment from Michael Fett again. He says, yeah, the original was done by master of horror and suspense Dario Argento. It's going to be shown at the Marquee Theater November 6th with the band Goblin, who did the score for the film, performing the score live. Now, I wish we could have been to that. That would have been awesome. I highly suggest going. Argento, in my honest opinion, blows Bava away, and from what I can see from previews, Luca took Argento's basic premise and made a film that is uniquely his own in spirit and look. So mad props for him for that. Argento's Suspiria is a very bright and colorful film with deep, rich colors and a psychedelic music score that is impressive by itself. I've got Suspiria, the original, on 4K UHD Blu-ray from Italy, and mouth is every time I watch it. Argento's other must-see film is Deep Red, preferably the full Italian cut. Argento's films always sell out at the film bar when shown. Glad you love the art side of the film. If you have a 4K player and want to see the original, let me know. I got the 4K UHD from Italy. It's a psychedelic experience. Now, since then, Michael had a chance to see the new Suspiria, and this is what he says. Love this film when I saw it in the theaters last night. After seeing you pop a review, told myself not letting anyone spoil this film for me. Outside of characters, places, setting, and time, the film is indeed its own film. Story-wise, new concept and ideas. At 2.5 hours long, that was a little much considering the original was 90 minutes. I could have cut 30 minutes out probably and still had the same effect. So that is my biggest beef with the film, and the music score, while has a handful of moments, is nothing like Goblin, so somewhat let down there. I'd give the film a solid 7.5, but I love Euro films, and this is right up my alley. I will say this, you will either love this film or hate it. I didn't hate it. I was just kind of blah about it.
Well, I liked it for...
I mean,
as an art film.
visually,
Yeah.
it was stunning. The story was just kind of, what?
Yeah, it was definitely, what did I just watch?
Yeah, it was a very, very weird story, but visually it was stunning.
Yeah.
So I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. I'm right in the middle on that one.
Yeah, and that's our comments, and we want to hear from you, our listeners. Please leave us comments at the end of each episode. At the article that you can see on tggeeks.com, we've got a place for comments. At the end of every article, we have a place for comments. You can comment on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, or anywhere your podcasts can be found. For a finer podcast can be found.
Yes.
What's that tagline that they used
I
to say?
don't even remember anymore, but I think where finer podcasts can be found. I think that's pretty much right.
Anyway, so do take the time. We want to hear from you. Whether you like something or you don't like it, just please play nice. You can even leave us a voicemail. You can call TG Geeks or 469 TG Geeks. That is 469-844-3357. And as I said, please play nice.
Yeah, baby. They're like two gay geeks. They're together, They're two gay guys and they're geeks. Is that okay?
Got a little early on the button there.
That was an itchy button finger.
Yeah. Well, we're coming in at 57 minutes here at the moment, so
Yeah, we got
we're going to be running a little long.
We got another
this
10 minutes or
episode,
so we're okay. Anyway, wow. Since this is episode 200, I think it might be a good time to kind of take a look back. I mean, how this whole thing began, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, why we started it.
Yeah. Obviously, one of the big reasons is that we were on Slice of Sci-Fi, and Mike decided to shut that down in that form, and because he was getting ready to sell the house and this and that and the other.
And he had been doing podcasts for a very long time, and he was just kind of, I'm done. He wanted to retire from it.
Yeah. So as that came to an end, we were out of a job.
Basically, I mean, I've told people I've got this other podcast that I work on weekly, but I don't pick the content.
Yep.
So if there's something that I really want to talk about, that's not exactly the perfect avenue unless, for whatever reason, it just happens to coincidentally fit in with what the programming is. But I really don't have any say on that.
Yeah.
And you kind of felt that maybe I needed an outlet.
Yeah, and then, so one Saturday morning I was in a little bit of a manic mode and searching around and thinking of this and that and the other, and I came up, and while the domain 2Gay Geeks was already taken, and it was a parked domain name.
How dare they?
And so I kept watching that, but there were other opportunities, so I came up with TG Geeks. It's a 2Gay Geeks.
Mm-hmm.
And the rest is history on the domain and the website. But that's how we kind of started, and then one of the things that we've done, that first episode was 6 minutes.
Oh, do you actually look?
6 minutes and 12 seconds.
I can't even listen to it anymore.
Yeah.
I can't because I'm too embarrassed.
And, well, it was pretty rough, but...
I was dreadful.
The first 20 episodes or so we were kind of finding our footing. People were listening. Claire was listening.
Obviously, Claire was listening.
Brian was listening. And, as we morphed into something, and here we have this form today.
Well, and I remember the first time we actually started to approach 30 minutes, we're going, wow, we had a lot to talk about.
We have things to talk about.
And I remember also, I sounded terrible behind the mic for some really god-awful reason. I remember even the first few interviews we did were just dreadful. And it wasn't until, I'm trying to remember now, which episode it was that we spoke to Rob Palmer and Mike.
That really was...
that's when it all changed.
Where it all changed.
For both of us.
That was because it was a face-to-face thing, and we learned so much in that face-to-face.
We had done face-to-face before, and that was when we were in San Diego.
Yeah, but that was a very different.
But that was bizarre because there were like
20 people.
Yeah, it was so many people behind the mic, and it was sheer chaos, and we just didn't quite know how to conduct ourselves. And I would never do that kind of thing again. But at Phoenix Fan Fest, having a chance to talk to Rob and Mike for I'm Alone, I mean, it's just the four of us, and it really allowed for conversation. And I remember thinking, this is what I've been trying to aim for.
Yep.
And I think we've been pretty successful in that respect.
And then after that, it just things snowballed, and it began to be this thing. And before you know it, here we are with 200 episodes.
Well, and you know, one of the things that we've learned is, well, having spent a lot of time, not just looking back at what we did with Slice of Sci-Fi, but also starting to go back to Technorama, visiting in on that show a lot. I mean, there was a lot of things that we learned about structure.
Yeah.
Which we weren't really quite strong on.
Yeah, and
it wasn't a strength.
Kind of morphed into what we do today,
right?
And helped to influence what we do and the way we kind of break it up now.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a lot of things that we learned. There's a lot of talented people out there. That's one big thing that we've learned. There are way too many talented people, and I don't say too many in a negative way. It's way too many that we can't talk to all of them.
We can't talk to everybody.
You know, as
and
many
it
people
makes me
as
sad.
we want to talk to.
Yeah.
We just can't. I had to turn out, we're recording this episode early because we're on vacation right now, but I've had to turn down a couple of interview opportunities because we just didn't
can't
have
fit them in.
time. I mean, and they came in because we're this whole weekend that we're recording this. We're recording, 7 episodes. We're programming 47 days worth of content.
And this is for anybody who wants a timestamp. We're doing this the weekend before Thanksgiving.
Yeah. So it's just been crazy, and it is. We do it because we enjoy it.
We really do
and
enjoy
because
this.
We want you to find some enjoyment in what we do as well.
Mm-hmm.
And a couple of other things that we've learned is we have to be a little more tempered in our approach to things and to people's.
Yeah.
And how we talk to people and how we review things.
Yeah, we're not so niche anymore. I mean,
Yeah.
at least especially in terms of our audience, there are a lot more people listening to us than we ever possibly realized. So yeah, we have to think more carefully about how we approach different subjects, how we respond to them.
And if it's something that we're not familiar with, hey, we are open. We're not kind of stuck in that box anymore. But there's a couple of things that we had to kind of do. We've had a lot of people approach us and say, hey, would you review my film? Would you look at my film, etc.? And I've had to start replying with a notation. It says, and this is exactly what it says. It says, we get a numerous requests for reviews, and sometimes a film may fall within an area of which we have little experience or understanding. If we feel we cannot do justice to a film with a review, we will be upfront with that, and we will, at the very least, run a press release to give your film some exposure. We are supporters of independent creators and feel that a poorly written review is not fair to you, but we also want to be supportive. Thank you for your understanding.
Yeah, because I refuse to write a bad review just because I don't get it.
Yeah.
And I will admit, with a lot of independent films, there's a few that I just don't get because, as you said, they're outside of my experience. So I can't really put myself into the head of the filmmaker and fully appreciate the vision that he or she had in the making of that. So it's completely irresponsible for me to then start critiquing on that.
Yeah, and then just downright mean too.
Well, I refuse to be that.
If
it's a big studio film, then all bets are off.
It's interesting because Hamish talked about that in a new sushi. I can't remember which one now, but he said the worst kind of interview or review that you can give to a film is a mediocre one. It's either, it's not a bad review that's disastrous for a film, but a mediocre review.
Oh, that's
and we just won't do that. We
No.
won't be mean to somebody because people put in any kind of independent creation, whether it's film or authors or whatever, we're not going to stomp on those because they put their heart and soul into that creation.
Yeah, and there's even a couple of movies that I've had to give not so great reviews, and it's broken my heart to do that because I kept walking away thinking there is so much promise and potential here.
Yeah, so we've become more gregarious, I think, and
oh, that's true.
Being around people and more confident in talking to people and meeting new people.
Yeah, and I'm sure that like when they walk away from us, they're thinking, "Oh my God, what a couple of dorks!"
Yeah, well,
these guys are goofballs.
But we've got a lot of stuff too, and that's not because we feel obligated. It's because we really want to support independent creators, and we like the stuff that they do.
Yeah,
so,
we wouldn't buy it if we didn't like it.
Exactly. And last, the thing that we've learned is this has added a new depth to our relationship.
Oh, yeah.
After 22 years, it's fresh. It's all new again.
Yeah, it's just a new layer, because now the way we get to actually look at a lot of these properties now, and the interesting thing is much of what we do is something we'd already been doing, but now it sort of has a fresh paint on it, a fresh coat of paint. And that is how many times we would be watching something on television, and then one of us would say, pause, and then we chat about it for five or so minutes about what it is that we've just watched. And I started thinking, why the heck aren't we doing that on the show?
Yeah. Well, but also just our relationship, period, the two of us, and the way we interact and with each other, and the way it's just been a positive influence on our personal relationship.
Oh, I believe that. Yeah,
relationship on the show. And so then, where are we going? To hell if we don't change our ways.
Oh, please. So says those people.
Those people, yes. Well, the sky's the limit, and that is a perfect segue into saying that we're looking at some little things that we can
tweak here and there
on the podcast itself, the website. We're looking at a new theme to make it pop, to increase our visibility and help people find things a little easier on the website. And it's all about marketing and branding and who we are and who we have become, and ever evolving and reinventing ourselves. And that's what's important, is if we can continue to reinvent ourselves into something that is good and positive.
I'm all for it.
Absolutely.
I'm Daniel Radcliffe, and I believe that reaching out for help is the bravest thing a person can do. If you are struggling and need support, call the Trevor Lifeline at 1-866-488-7386. It's free and confidential, and trained counsellors are there to listen 24/7 without judgment. To learn more about the Trevor Project's life-saving work for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, or questioning young people, go to thetrevorproject.org.
We do play that every episode, and especially now during the holidays. If you or someone is in crisis, please, please, please reach out. Help them, help yourself. It does get better. It really isn't and doesn't have to be the end of the world for you. Reach out. There's people to listen. Take care of yourself. I let it play the whole time this time instead of playing the record scratch. We really don't know what we're recapping for last week, other than the fact that we had a Dr. Zombie and an episode and a news sushi.
Yeah. And obviously some movies that we've reviewed. We just don't know when they're going to be publishing.
Yeah. So if you want to know what we've been doing, check out tggeeks.com and our Facebook page. We've got lots of stuff. We are publishing every day during this vacation that we're taking, so we don't want to leave you out there. And as always, we got our follow-up items, and we know we're running long, so we're going to probably breeze through some of this real quick. We got widgets on the page, on the right-hand side and at the bottom. Check them out. Lots of people we support. We're supporters of Arizona Opera. The season picks back up in January with La Traviata, azopera.org. Check out our restaurant reviews. And as we've talked through this entire episodes, we are huge supporters of independent creators, whether it's filmmakers, comic book artists, writers, or creators of any kind. We are supportive. We want to be supportive. We want to hear about what you're doing. Support them by buying their stuff, talking to other people about independent creators, buying their stuff, and please have cash for them if you see them at a con or a festival or something like that. Please support independent creators.
Special shout out to Doctor Who Talking Who on Twitter, Michael C. Burgess on Twitter, The Human Arkle on Twitter. They all publish paper.lease that would publish our content. You can find the Doctor Who Fancast Guide by searching at Talking Who. Byronik's semi-diurnal aggregator, and he is at Byronik, Byronik. And the Human Arkles is the Arkle Times Post-Dispatch News at Arkle, Arkle. And he's on YouTube with his shameless cash grab. Go there and search Arkle Studios, all one word. Also, special shout out to the Facebook group, The Gay Geek, for allowing us to post our episodes and relevant content there. The URL is facebook.com/group/The Gay Geek. And as always, our most heartfelt gratitude to moderator Jeremiah Reeves for allowing us to share all of that content there.
Thank you, Jeremiah. And thank you to everybody that's clicked on those Amazon ads at the bottom of the page on the right-hand side. We really appreciate it. It means a lot. And lastly, as we always say, we're found on Spotify, and you can check us out on Krypton Radio at 3 a.m. and 3 p.m. Pacific on Tuesdays. Please rate us and review us on iTunes, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Up next time, let's see, who do we have?
Oh, good grief, I have no idea.
I can't remember. I'm trying to, if the stupid file will ever open up. There we go.
Well, let's see. So this was
we've got Jeannie Koch.
Jeannie Koch again.
All of her other projects.
Yes, the other stuff she's working on.
Other stuff besides the Catherine Kitty Cat Alien series. That's who we have next. So stay tuned for that. That's going to be a great one. Okay, that should do it for this episode of TG Geeks Webcast. Thank you for listening. Be sure to check out our article for this webcast episode. We're going to have links on the page of things we've talked about. And remember, you can comment on our Facebook page or our website, tggeeks.com, or you can leave us a voicemail at 469-TG-GEEKS. That is 469-844-3357. From TG Squared Studios, I'm Keith Lane. Thanks for listening. Please be kind to yourself and those around you. Peace.
Cheers.